The time between Ben 10 focused episodes on this channel has been getting longer and longer. I mean, to be fair, it's because I've been branching out way more into new topics this year, which I think is really great for the channel overall. But of course, every now and then, do like going back into some Ben 10 stuff. Especially because there's so many great aliens in the series that I still haven't worked with on here despite all my past Ben 10 episodes. So today, I'm gonna take 3 that I've never used before and turn them into monsters. Let's go! Hit like, if you want. Subscribe, if you feel like. But either way, enjoy the show. In the months since I became the overseer of my world, I've logged dozens of new, bizarre dragons and creatures into my bestiary, but in doing so, I've become distracted from finishing entries that I'd started a ways back and never completed. So I finally decided to go back to these creatures and finish my logs on them. The first of these was the Hazardous Hydrosnapper. This is a species of crustacean-like giant that stands full-grown at up to 50 feet tall. The Hydrosnapper has 3 sets of eyes, 2 on its head and another larger set on its chest, making it a very difficult creature to sneak up on, though not the toughest of the ones we'll look at today. It's a beast powerful enough to take on even some of the tougher dragons of its region along the southwest coast of the Americas. Its shell-like hide is incredibly durable, and I've as of yet seen a creature able to penetrate it. Something I hadn't seen before was that the dome-like shell that surrounds its head from behind is actually able to come down over its head as an extra layer of protection. On the offensive side, it has a set of massive 4-pronged claws for hands, from which it can shoot cannons of water with enough force to shatter stone, if at close enough proximity. On top of this, it is quite strong, as expected from its stature, but it can also jump remarkably high for such a hefty beast. Its greatest leap from solid land into water sent it nearly 70 feet in the air. Additionally, it has shown the ability to manipulate water to move at the sway of its claws. But so far, I've only seen it use this to cause mid-sized waves. I'm still as of yet uncertain how extensive this ability actually is. The Hydrosnapper isn't inherently hostile towards humans, but it is a defensive creature, and if it feels threatened, won't hesitate to attack. Your best bet is to retreat slowly if you find yourself inadvertently in close proximity to this creature. Now, admittedly, when I started this drawing, this episode was actually going to be Ben 10 aliens as demons, continuing in the Phobias as Demons series, but, not with phobias. But when I got partway through this drawing, I looked at it and I was kind of like, I really like how this is turning out, but it doesn't look like a demon. Or at least to me, it didn't feel like it really fit into that series. It kind of has demonish elements, but I don't know, maybe it was a kind of arbitrary decision to switch it up. But then I pivoted and was going to do Ben 10 aliens as kaijus, because this does kind of look like a kaiju, or at least in my opinion. I don't know, maybe nobody even agrees with what I'm saying here. These were just my observations at looking at it and how it was turning out. But yeah, so I was gonna do kaijus, and then as I got into rendering and adding the background into this one, I was like, I don't have to do buildings for all of them necessarily, but I think even I might not have time to do rendered buildings in the background for all of these creatures, even if I am only doing 3, because this was a community redraw week when I was working on this, and community redraw episodes are a bit more time consuming and take priority because I want to make sure to do justice to all the awesome stuff that was submitted by you lovely subscribers. So then eventually I was just like, okay, I'm shifting again, and this is just going to be Ben 10 aliens as monsters. I know I've done a monsters episode recently, and a lot of my episodes recently have been monster focused. I promise I'll do something superhero kind of related sometime soon, probably next week. But yeah, anyway, so this drawing pivoted a bunch from how it originally started, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, even though the background was kind of thrown in last minute. Anyway, hope you all like it as well. Let's take a look at the finished result. The next creature is one I doubt I could have adequately studied prior to my eyes being open to the magic inherent to creatures in my world. I'd believed the Albino Echo Imp to simply be a 5-foot humanoid with the ability to emit sonic screams, similar to that of the Brazilian Sky Pulse, though this creature's sound waves may be more versatile. It can use its screams to help it leap higher, it can reverse the trajectory of incoming projectiles, it can use echolocation like a bat, and of course it can significantly disorient foes with its cries. All of that I knew upon first investigating the creature, but what I hadn't been willing to believe was that this creature could clone itself multiple times over, as the locals so claimed. Ignorantly, I studied the beast for 2 days, never saw it do such a thing, and claimed in full arrogance that it was impossible. It was a case of me only seeing what I was willing to see. Of course, now, having gone back to the creature and watching it for a longer period of time, I found that this is indeed a completely true ability of the Echo Imp. When threatened by a creature that it cannot handle on its own, it glows green and multiple copies of it can morph out from its body and seemingly all work completely independently of one another. When the threat is dispatched, all of the clones simply recede back into the original and vanish. The most I've seen it duplicate into was 12, but I've heard stories claiming it to be able to split into 40 clones. I cannot verify this, but obviously can't discredit it either. This creature, while not particularly friendly looking, is actually inherently helpful towards humans, at least ones that don't actively threaten it. It can't heal things with its voice like the Brazilian Skypulse can, but it can use its glowing eyes and mouth to light the way for lost travelers in the woods at night, and ward off creatures that threaten humans that live in its region. Its appearance could potentially be haunting to young children, but aside from that, it's certainly not a creature you need worry about. Now with this drawing, I was trying to go for something similar to what I did with Stealth Elf in the Skylanders Monsters episode that I did a couple weeks ago. Do a cool, sort of demonic looking imp kind of creature, but I think that previous one turned out a lot more interesting. This one, I like how it turns out enough. I think it's just a little bit bland in comparison. With the Stealth Elf Imp, I did a pose that I don't use as often. I really pushed the proportions a lot more. I made it more actively creepy looking, especially in the face. Overall, I think that imp was just more interesting. Again, still like this one enough. It's just a little bit bland, I'd say. Although I do really like near the end when I add in the actual echo glow kind of thing. Did I do that at the end? I don't remember. I did it at some point farther into the drawing. I kind of figured out a formula that I really like for doing glowing, objects, rings. I think it was in the first Phobias as Demons episode, where I did Thunder and Lightning as a demon, the lightning that I had going in its hands. I really like the way I did it. It's kind of hard to explain without being able to show it. It basically consists of 4 layers, though you could probably do it in less, where I draw just like a regular green ring or whatever shape you want, then kind of blur that out. And I also, for this, put it on glow, and then add a white ring inside of that twice? Well, I don't know why I did it twice. I think that just adds a bit more glow, and again, blur out that layer. I don't know if that description really helps anyone be able to do what I did, but, hopefully maybe there's something useful in there. Anyway, drawing's basically finished, so let's take a look. Now, if you do have a child that would be frightened by the appearance of the Echo Imp, then you certainly wouldn't want them laying their eyes on this next creature. But if they did come across it, this creature would certainly have its eyes falling on them. The ocular gigantus has large green eyes all over its body, except on its head, where it has 2 large bat-like ears. As you'd expect, it has spectacular hearing and, of course, spectacular vision, and can see all around it, even having an eye on the end of its tail. It even seems able to see things not perceptible to human eyes, such as trails of scents or radiation from other creatures. The most miraculous thing about the ocular gigantus is its ability to shoot beams of energy from any one of its eyes, even from multiple ones at a time. If it closes all of its eyes except for one, usually the one on the upper center of its back or at the end of its tail, it can enhance the strength of this beam enough to carve through a mountain. When it does this channeled eye beam, it can also change the kind of beam it fires, from its usual concussive blast to a heat blast or freeze ray. I've yet to observe it shooting any other kind of beam than those 3, but I think it likely that the creature can do more. While this creature's many enhanced senses make it remarkably perceptive, they can also easily become its weaknesses. Bright light can temporarily blind the creature, and very high-pitched sounds can render it near useless, as long as the sound continues. Many who live in close proximity to these creatures have taken to carrying sound bowls with them when they go out. If the creature approaches them, to show it they mean no harm, they set the bowl down and play a slow song from it. The sound has shown to be soothing to the creature, and it's never attacked someone after they've played the tune. Now, when I went to reference the Ben 10 wiki to make sure I wasn't forgetting anything about Eye Guy, I noticed something really funny in the description of his abilities. There was a line that said, iGuy possesses enhanced strength, enough to pin down a 12-year-old. Now, this is a weird thing for me to say on this channel, and I hope nobody takes it out of context, but I'm pretty sure I could pin down a 12-year-old, and I don't think that qualifies me as having enhanced strength. Maybe 12-year-olds are a lot tougher than I'm thinking. Again, not gonna actually try pinning one down, but I thought that was a pretty weird description. Anyway, I was super excited to use iGuy. I figured he would transfer into a really cool monster kind of creature. I really wanted to stretch out those ear-eye things he has on his face. And the inspiration I was taking most for this guy was actually from the creatures from A Quiet Place. I think those creatures are super cool looking. I don't know if they have a name in that series or if they're just called the monsters, but I think they're really awesome, and the arms on this guy, I was taking inspiration from them. Really, the whole body shape, I made him bigger and bulkier, but even the shape of the head, I was kind of referencing those. I just think those are a really awesome monster design, and mixing a little bit of that in with iGuy, I feel like it made for a really cool creature. I really love how this one turned out in the end. By the way, people have probably noticed already at this point in the video, but in the background I've got the lights up looking green, and it's almost like they're actually making the Ben 10 logo on the wall, and I thought that was super cool. Anyway, don't think I have anything else to say about this one. Hope you all like the last monster of the episode. Here it is. And voila! Ben 10 aliens as monsters. I am still open to the idea of doing that Ben 10 aliens as demons idea I suggested, or other things as demons besides just the phobias as demons, which is how that series has started off. So if you want to see other stuff as demons or monsters, as always, give me more ideas in the comments, or other things I could turn Ben 10 aliens into. And of course, if you're new to the channel, check out some of my other Ben 10 focused episodes. I've got a whole bunch of them on here in this same series with Tayron narrating. I've got Ben 10 aliens as dragons, and there's lots of other ones, but that's probably one of the best ones. I'll link the whole playlist at the end of this video, though. And besides that, that's all for today. I'm Christian Pearson. This has been PopCross Studios, home of the nerdiest art videos on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you all in the next episode on Friday. Goodbye.